And like I said, I warned last year, Peter Dutton was making a big mistake, making Julian Leeser, this white guy, this Voice supporter, the opposition's spokesman on The Voice. And I said back then, he should have taken a chance instead with a first-termer in Parliament. Big risk, I know, but he should have chosen the brilliant and brave National Senator Jacinta Nampijinpa Price, who argues the case exactly like it should be argued. And certainly now that the Liberals have finally decided to oppose The Voice or bust. And joining me is Senator Price. Jacinta Price, thank you so much for coming on. Look, I am certain that your inbox is filled with messages saying, Jacinta, go for the job. Now, it's not for you to appoint yourself, but are you up for it?
Oh, look, Andrew, I know that there are plenty of my coalition colleagues who have certainly been working hard, who have been working hard longer than I have, who would certainly be up for the job. As you know, I've not even come up to 12 months yet in the Senate, and I'm appreciating the position I am in now, appreciating being able to do what I need to do and be an effective voice going toward this referendum at the moment.
Modestly said, but the best people must rise to the top instantly. Peter Costello was Shadow Treasurer on day one, and I just think they can't go past you. What, are they going to appoint another white quibbler, blah, 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 speaking on Indigenous affairs? It doesn't wash. Julian Leeser today resigning as Liberal spokesman so that it's free as a backbencher to fight for The Voice that he last week opposed. What do you make of that?
Well, look, you know, I respect Julian for the decision that he's made. I am slightly disappointed, obviously. I think, you know, for me personally, as everybody knows, I think this is quite a divisive referendum. It's already proving to be so. It's dividing up the country. You know, it's starting to get nasty. There are those on the yes side who are attacking those of us as individuals instead of focusing on you know, the detail and the policy and all those sorts of issues on the reasons why people should be supposedly supporting it. Instead, they're attacking us individually. So it is. I mean, I won't say that I'm not disappointed in his decision, but I do respect that. I do respect his position that he's taken.
Oh, well, I think if he felt that way from the start, he should never have given that speech. He should have resigned ages ago and saved the Liberals some of this embarrassment and let them get on with the real business. I think it's appalling that he gives your main argument last week and this week proves that it doesn't work because he's ditched himself, is going to vote for the Voice, whatever. Should the Liberals, in fact, now do what you have been doing from the get-go and so brilliantly effectively and argue against the Voice, not simply on the details. The details do count. I'm not dismissing that, but not just on the details, but on the principle.
Absolutely. And I know this is something that certainly Peter Dutton has said he is going to do. So I'm actually really looking forward to campaigning alongside Dutton and of course, my Liberal Party colleagues. I know there are many who are, you know, ready to go, basically, in terms of campaigning against the constitutionally enshrined Voice, and rightly so. You know, the fire is there, and I'm certainly looking forward to getting on board now as a coalition. The Libs and the Nats, of course. The Nats have been fired up for some time, and you know, we're glad that our Liberal colleagues have come along for the ride.
But it is the principle, isn't it? I mean, I don't think you can fight a crusade like this where people have got such this feel-good factor unless you appeal to another moral argument, a competing one. You can't just say, yes, but the details. There has to be a moral principle in saying no, doesn't there?
Look, absolutely there has to be a moral principle. And first and foremost is what I've argued, you know, is the fact that as people of Indigenous heritage, someone like myself who has an Aboriginal mother and a white Australian father and has a blended family, I don't want to see my own family divided along the lines of race. And our constitution should remain colourblind. And I think, you know, my good friend Warren Mundine has pointed out the fact that we as Indigenous Australians, it's wrong to say that we're not already recognised in our Constitution. We are recognised because we are Australian citizens. And to go down this path actually treats us differently. It suggests that we're different. It suggests that we are inherently disadvantaged because of our race. And this is something that we've got, this is a principle that we have to stand up and say no to. Dividing us along the lines of race. It's, as far as I'm concerned, it is racial stereotyping to suggest that we are inherently disadvantaged because of our race and that we need this special need within our Constitution. Absolutely, I haven't stood for it, and I refuse to stand for it.
I thought it was brilliantly put by Warren as well. Jacinta Price, I didn't know Julian Leeser was going to quit when I invited you on the show. I actually wanted to raise with you, and we haven't got much time now, but an incredible story that shocked the art world. The Australian newspapers interviewed 5 Aboriginal artists and 5 white staff from one of Australia's most successful Indigenous arts organisation. It's patronised by film stars like Russell Crowe. It's the APY Arts Centre Collective that's in the far north of South Australia, just under your area. The allegations, which are denied, is that white studio staff allegedly helped paint some of the works themselves to actually make them more appealing to white buyers. The Australian has published this video of a white assistant apparently contributing to an Aboriginal artwork, although we don't quite know why she's assisting this way. Have a look.
Could you do with another rock over there, or is that going to be too circular? Right?
And then this one in over here.
Yeah.
Ah, that's it.
Do you want a bit of watering can on that? I might even. What do you think about putting a little bit of water?
Jacinta, to repeat, the allegations are denied. Some of the artists who spoke to the Australian later changed their story, although the National Gallery of Australia now says it's commissioning an independent review into how these works were created that it's got from the studio for an upcoming blockbuster exhibition. But what light can you shed on this?
Look, my background is in the arts. I've previously curated works from across, these art centres throughout the APY lands and throughout Central Australia. I know a lot of the players involved. I know a lot of the artists, and I'm really disappointed, but I believe the artists in this case. And I think this is also demonstrative of just how vulnerable people are in the bush and the way in which they can be taken advantage of. And this is why I don't support something like The Voice, because the opportunity for people, vulnerable people, to be taken advantage of will come up again with this model. But it is wrong. There are those of us who've known about this sort of thing, and I think it's brave of the artists to finally come forward and stand up and allow their voices to be heard. And I want to thank Greg Bierup from The Australian for doing such a thorough job on this series of stories, because this can't continue to go on. This is the livelihoods of many people in communities. It's often their only livelihood, and they shouldn't be disrespected in this particular way or taken advantage of if the allegations are in fact true.
As well put, because they are in fact denied, and one might even say that if the artists get more money from being helped to produce more saleable works, then they're not totally lost out in this. But still, I think if the magic of the work is supposed to be the connection to Aboriginal culture, that doesn't seem quite the right thing to me, if it's true. Jacinta Price, always great to see you, and may you soon be picked to the front bench where you rightfully belong. Thank you for coming on the show. Appreciate it.